Hey, happy Monday. Welcome back, and I hope you've had a great weekend and are ready to jump in to our math today. I want to challenge you. One of our math practices says that you will make sense in solving problems and persevere in solving them, or make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. So, if you're feeling discouraged through these videos and you're feeling like the math that we're doing is too complicated, just say it's complicated right now, but I am going to get it, and continue to work hard and try and make the effort, because eventually you will get it. I know you will. So today, make that your focus. We're going to make sense in solving problems, and we're going to persevere through them, okay? And that's especially important today as we work through some division word problems with remainders. But first, take a look at our calendar grid. I have updated our calendar pieces for the weekend and for today. We have pentagon, and now we have what looks to me like an irregular shape. And the way we name this shape is we still count the sides. One side, two sides, 3, 4, 5, 6. The six-sided shape we call we call it a hexagon. So this shape is a hexagon, okay? I am going to update the calendar recording sheet for us so that by the time we meet again, it will already be there. But just for the sake of time in today's video, I'm going to do that. And I've already updated our calendar collector. Although this is the 14th day of January that you're seeing my lovely face, we've actually been in school for 15 days so far this January. So I have updated our calendar collector sheet for you as well here, where you see on Friday we had $10.50. Today we have $11.25, because 45 divided by 4 would give us 11 equal groups, but we would have 1/4 left over, meaning 1/4 still left over. And that's what we're talking about today. We're dividing, much like what we're doing with our calendar collector. But we want to know, what are we going to do with our remainder? In terms of money, our remainder is easy. If we have 3/4 left over, or 3 left over, I could say 3/4 left over, or $1/2, or 1/4 left over, that's easily translated into terms of money. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. But what if it's not money? What if it's other real world context that we have to figure out what in the world to do with the leftover? That's what we are going to do today. So let's open up our journals and turn to page 50. We are going to work together through number 1, solving some division word problems. And then you guys are going to work on number 2 on your own, and we'll come back together and we will review the answers. Okay, so let's start with number 1. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classes are going on a field trip. There are 91 students in 3rd grade, 88 students in 4th grade, and 93 students in 5th grade. If 9 people fit in a van, how many vans do they need for all the students? Take a moment and see if you can put this problem in your own words. What's happening? Right, 3 grade levels going on a field trip. 91, 88, 93, and we can only fit 9 people in a van. So we got to figure out, right, how many vans we need. So what is the unit for this problem? And by unit, I mean, if I were to label my answer, what label would I put on the answer? If it's asking for how many vans they need for all those students, then chances are my label is going to be, vans. That's what I'm talking about. I want to know how many vans. Okay? Now, if we have a remainder, which I guess this question is kind of giving us a hint that maybe we will have a remainder. If we were to have a remainder, how are we going to deal with that remainder? What are we going to do with the leftover? Are we going to throw it away? Are we going to make it into a decimal form? Think about the context of this problem. We have people. If you were left over because maybe you didn't fit on a van, what would you expect the school to do? Add another van, right? That would only seem to make sense. So in this case, we could deal with the remainder by adding one van if there's a remainder. Y'all agree? Great. So let's estimate how many vans we might need. And remember, when we estimate, we first start by rounding. So let's round our numbers. And this is a two-step word problem because we need to figure out how many students altogether in those 3 grade levels before we can divide those students into groups of 9. So 91 would round to 90. 88 would round to 90. And 93 would also round to 90. 90 plus 90 plus 90 is like saying 3 times 90, or 3 times 9 times 10, because 90 we can break down further into 9 times 10. We know 3 times 9, right? What is it? 27. And then 27 times 10, so we're increasing by a power of 10, which gives us 270. So that's the total number of students, not how many vans we need. That would be a crazy amount of vans, right? Okay, so we now take the 270 and we're going to divide that by 9. And let's think. We know how many 90s it takes to give us 270, so maybe that'll give us a hint for our estimate. Did you get 30? Because 9 times 30 is also 270 because it's like saying 9 times 3 times 10. Since 30 can be broken down into 3 times 10. If you weren't sure, you might think 9 times 10 is 90. It has to be more than 10. Then we double that to 180. So it has to be more than 20. So maybe we add another, we go to 30. And it just so happens that 9 times 30 is 270. So our estimate is 30 vans. We need about 30 vans. Now we need to actually do the work. Figure out if our estimate is indeed correct. So if you have scratch paper or room in your book, I want you to do the work with me. And when we do the work, we need to actually figure out the real deal total, okay? So we had 91, we had 88, and we had 93. Let's add it. We got 90 plus 90 is 180, plus 80 would be 260, plus we have 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So 260 plus 12 is 272. Now, you may have written this problem vertically in your book, which is perfectly okay, and you may have solved it using the standard algorithm because maybe you've already worked on the standard algorithm in class through the Bridges curriculum, and that's great. Either way you chose to do it, as long as you chose an efficient method that works well for you and is accurate, then I'm good with it. Now we need to divide 272 for our actual problem, not our estimate. For our actual problem is 272 divided by 9 will give us how many vans we need. Are you with me? Awesome. Let me draw a picture to represent this. So I know I have my dimension of 9. I know that. This is 9. And I'm going to figure out how can I fit 272 within that. So I'm going to start by taking out groups of 10. And maybe you just jumped right to 30 because you knew that 9 times 30 was 270, which is great. But if you weren't still sure, this is a really good way to do it. So I have 90 here. How much more do I have left? Well, I can figure that out by saying 272 minus 90, which is going to give me 182. And I could go and do the standard algorithm, but I knew that. I could do the math in my head. So do I have enough to take out another 90, another dimension of 10? I do, so let me do that. So here's another 90. Now how much do I have left? I have 92 left. I know 90 plus 90 is 180. Do I have enough to take out another dimension of 10? Absolutely. So I'm going to do that. Here's my 10. And here's my 90. And maybe you just went ahead and did a big jump of 30 to make 270, which is great. But there's a slight problem here. I have 2 left over. What is that 2 representing? It's representing 2 kids, 2 children, 2 people. Do we want to leave those 2 children out? If you're saying yes, really think about it, because if you were one of those children who were being left out and had to stay at school and do work, you wouldn't be happy, right? That wouldn't be fair, especially if you had to go and sit with a 2nd grade class or somewhere random. So what are we going to do? Think back to what we said we could do with the remainder. We can add a van. So instead of having 30 vans, we could have 31. We could have 31 vans. And one of the vans is just going to have some extra space. Maybe we won't put 9 in all of them. Maybe a good number will have 9 and some might have 8 and maybe one might have 7 or 6. But we definitely need 31 vans to fit all the students. So please read through the next 2 problems on your own. So number 2 and number 3, which is on the next page. Pause this video so you have time to work it out, and then we'll talk about what's happening. All right, so number 2 was a very interesting problem. 4th grade class is now going on a field trip. They have 91 students, but 23 of them will ride the subway. Why they're going to ride the subway? No clue, but we're going to go with it. Then they have 6 small buses for the rest of the students. If the same amount of students go on each bus, that means 9 students go on each bus, how many students will ride on each bus? Well, let's do some work. First of all, what's our unit? What'd you get? Students. How many students will ride on each bus? So our unit is students here. Okay, and what are we going to do with the remainder? What can we do with the students in this case? Now, for our unit of students, we can't split a student. So we're going to have to fit them on 6 buses. We're going to have to find a way to fit it. So I'm going to put can't split students. Have to fit on 6 buses. Y'all agree with that? I hope so, because that's the truth. If we're given 6 buses, we're going to have to fit these students. So we had 91 students. 23 of them rode the subway. So 90 minus 20. We had about 70 students to fit on 6 small buses. What could your estimate be? Maybe 12. About 12. We know 6 times 12 is 72. So we can say about 12 per bus. And then we work it out. We find the actual answer. So here is me working it out. Okay, we have 91 minus 23. 90 minus 20 is 70. And then 1 minus 3 means I'm short by 2. So I have 68. I actually have 68. And so I need to split 68 into 6 buses. So 68 divided by 6 is our problem. Now I am going to say, or I can draw a picture. Here's my 6. And I know if I were to take 10, automatically that's 60. And I have 8 more. So I can add another 6 here, which is just one group. Okay, and then I have 2 more left. So those 2 students are going to have to fit on one of the other 6 buses. So you should have gotten, we said it was going to be about 11. So it's 11 with 2 remaining. And since we can't split 2 people up, we're going to have to put, some buses are going to have 12. That's what's going to have to happen, okay? So that's what I would be writing in my notebook. And look, we said about 12 per bus. So we have some buses with 12 and some buses are going to have 11. 2 buses with 12 and 4 buses with 11. Make sense? Awesome. Very quickly, let me look at number 3, which was a challenge problem. So if you didn't get there, that's okay, because I'm actually going to stop there. And if we have time during another video, I can go over this problem, or maybe you want to take a picture of it and submit it to your teacher for her to check it to see how you're doing. I will warn you, tomorrow, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow, you guys have a checkup. You have a test coming, and if you don't take it tomorrow, you're going to be taking it very, very, very soon. So, good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.